Hey VC, my name's Harvey and welcome to the latest video update for my channel Spinning the Black Circle. So it's January, I'm certainly eating a lot less, some of the December excess is gone, I've even done some exercise and I'm doing dry January. What definitely hasn't dried up is my appetite for buying and checking out new stuff, so I'm going to go through some of my first week of the year vinyl purchases, starting with one that I'm so excited to have because I've been waiting for months and months for this to come out on vinyl, and it just arrived today. It's an album called The Ice Queen by Sue Foley. So Sue is a Vancouver, Canada based blues guitarist and singer-songwriter. She's been active since the early 90s, and The Ice Queen is her latest release. Came out in the early part of 2018. And I've been personally lobbying Sue via Facebook to release this on vinyl because it's so obvious that this sort of blues album belongs on vinyl. And finally she's relented in the last month and this arrived this morning. I characterise the music as probably the commercial side of blues. She's got a gritty voice, an incredible guitarist, just a great feel. Musicians on this are fantastic. She's pulled in Charlie Sexton for the opening track. Jimmy Vaughan of the Fabulous Thunderbirds, Stevie Ray Vaughan's brother, features on one of the tracks, and Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top famed duets on one of the tracks. It's an incredible LP. It's the best blues album bar none that I heard during 2018. There really were some quality blues rock albums released during that year. Oddly, there are only 8 tracks on the vinyl, whereas the digital version that I needed to live with for the first few months had 15 tracks on the deluxe version. But you don't miss out on any music because Sue has included a download card for the deluxe version and all 15 tracks with the album. I guess the idea behind it is that it feels more like a vinyl LP if you've got less tracks, and it probably helps the mastering process too. But so the sequence in the track selection has been altered, but she's captured the essence of this album on this vinyl release. Probably shouldn't feature on this channel because it's not black vinyl. It is, as it says on the cover, ice clear vinyl, but it's a thing of beauty anyway. And I was dead right. This belongs on vinyl, and it is an incredible LP. So glad, so pleased to add this to my collection. And if you enjoy blues rock, commercial blues rock, get this LP because it's just fabulous. Sue Foley's The Ice Queen. Sticking with the guitarist theme, this is a more archival release. It's by Earl Klugh from 1978. Album is called Finger Paintings and it's on Blue Note Records, so pick this up second hand. I mean, he's widely regarded as one of the best acoustic guitar players there ever was. Somewhere between jazz and blues, I would say, was how I would characterise Earl Klugh. Also, Lee Ritenour features on this LP, renowned jazz guitarist. I read the all music review of this LP and I think it misses the point. It paints a picture of this being background music, but actually you need to really listen to this album to get it. Yes, with any there's only one track that isn't instrumental that features a kind of soul choir on it. The rest are instrumental. You really need to sit down and listen to an LP like this. If you let it wash over you and let it be background music, it will. I think that's true of any instrumental album. So the all music review, I think, missed the point of Finger Paintings. There's a track named Cabo Frio, which is kind of a Broadway show tune, but the key track for me is Keep Your Eye on Sparrow, which is an old Sammy Davis Jr. song. Features Tom Scott on horns too, and that's the track that features a kind of soul vocal background to it, and it's got a kind of P-Funk or Earth, Wind and Fire feel to that particular track. So this is a great LP. It's I don't know if it's one of Earl Klugh's best. I've only heard 2 to 3 Earl Klugh albums, but this was reasonably priced. It's in great condition. Obviously, it's a late 70s Blue Note album, so that label was in a bit of a decline by that stage. But quality guitarist and something I'm really happy to add to my collection is Earl Klugh's Finger Paintings. Next is a bit of a departure. I'm an avid jazz fan, and this is by the Modern Jazz Quartet from 1962 on Atlantic Records. For those who don't know, the Modern Jazz Quartet, they were kind of the great hopes of jazz in the early '60s, part of a new god. Definitely, traditional in the sense of their playing. It's not free jazz. It's quite accessible for those who don't know don't currently have any jazz in their collection or looking to toe dip. You've got a good one to start with. It features John Lewis on piano and probably the greatest vibes player there ever was in Milt Jackson. So it is really about the interplay between Milt Jackson and John Lewis, the vibe player and the piano player. It's as I say, it's quite easy and accessible to enjoy. It's got a great groove to it. This looks like an early UK mono pressing, so the quality, the actual vinyl's in good condition. The recording is, I guess, Atlantic Jazz. Know what they're doing. It's not up to Blue Note standards in terms of how they've captured it, but it's certainly a really strong LP. It's known as one of their best albums. And certainly that interplay between John Lewis and Milt Jackson shines through on this LP. So if you're looking to kind of toe dip in jazz, or this is a gap in your collection, you don't have anything by the Modern Jazz Quartet, this is a good purchase. I think it's fairly easy to get your hands on. A complete juxtaposition, and this is a reissue. It is Metallica's Master of Puppets. This is what I love about vinyl collecting. Apart from the sound and the feel of the things. Look at this this headline on the H sticker. Obey your remaster. You don't get that from a digital copy. That sort of humour. I think the thing about this, what surprised me was how low volume the mastering is. So I turned the volume down, expecting it would blow the speakers away. But the remaster, actually, I had to crank it. The sound quality is really good, but it feels like they've kind of clipped it a little to hold something back. I don't know if that's because the original master was maybe a bit overblown. I don't have an original copy of Master of Puppets. I think it was on Music for Nations at the time. This is on Metallica's own Blackened label, so it's it's 180 gram reissue and remaster. I don't know if it's been remixed, but it doesn't sound bad, but it sounds a little clipped. Considering that you'd want something like this to just blow your speakers off. For instance, the 3 albums I've just shown you, especially the Sue Foley album, were much louder than this. Whereas you'd expect something like Master of Puppets to take the roof off. Now what I may need to do on this is just get my hands on a if not an original print, then in the early release, and see if it compares favorably. I'd be interested in any views from VC on Metallica issues and whether the original Music for Nations Master of Puppets is better than the reissue. But I was surprised at how low volume this album was, considering what Metallica was and is. Finally, this LP has shook my world today. I took a bit of a punt on this one. It's by Doris Henderson, featuring John Renbourn, and it's called Watch the Stars. So Doris is a folk singer from the 1960s. She was active in the 1960s. She was originally based in LA, and when her brother was in the US military, and she moved to the UK because of that, she repatriated to the UK, so lived in the UK. Obviously hooked up with John Renbourn, and that's what caught my attention. I love John Renbourn, acoustic guitarist, as you all know, and renowned folk guitarist. So I took a punt on this. It was brand new in Segatron Records, local record store, and it is just fabulous. Her voice and the interaction with John Renbourn. She's clearly a black soul singer, but applied to a folk blueprint. Her voice just completely soars. There's a mix of amazing covers on it. God Bless the Child, that version of that is astonishing. But she also, some of her own compositions on this are truly astounding. She takes some Chinese poetry and melds that into a song. Actually, there's a duo with John Renbourn on Watch the Stars. And Anne Briggs co-wrote one of the songs with her on this, Mosaic Patterns. The closest singer that I've heard to her in terms of style is probably Rhiannon Giddens. Obviously, she's a current singer. So whether Rhiannon had heard Doris Henderson, or whether it's complete coincidence. If you do know Rhiannon Giddens' work, she's obviously a black singer in the US folk band, the Carolina Chocolate Drops, and she's since gone solo. But that's very much what this is like. It's kind of a black soul voice applied to a folk mentality. In my word, does it work? Because this is an absolutely astonishing LP. I couldn't take it off the turntable and put it on again and again. It's from 1967, so this is the 50th anniversary issue. 180 grams, and it's on Stamford Audio. It's an audiophily pressing. These guys are Linn LP12 specialists, so they know what they're doing, and it doesn't sound like it was recorded 50 years ago. It's a small band because it effectively features some percussion, but mainly it's John Renbourn on guitar. Danny Thompson, famous folk bassist, is on here. So basically, the fundamental lineup is Doris Henderson with John Renbourn, Danny Thompson, and some percussion. But her voice, the song choice, and her songwriting in the overall package is just astonishing. So one of those situations where you buy something expecting, this could be interesting, and it actually blows you away. It's got an extra track on compared to the original LP. That was released in 1967. It was a 7-inch that Doris and John Renbourn released named Message to Pretty. So Message to Pretty is the final track, and interestingly, that comes across almost as a beat pop track compared to the rest of the folk album. So I guess Message to Pretty was an attempt at a hit, and it sounds like a hit too. I think the most astonishing thing about this is it once again pours scorn on this idea that the greatest musicians are already well known, that there's a pantheon of musicians and singers, and everything else is beneath that, because this lady should have been a huge star, and I for one hadn't heard of Doris Henderson until I picked up this, and only because of the John Renbourn name did I give it a go. So that was the thing that blew me away more than anything, was this LP. I'm going to treasure it. I looked on Discogs. I don't think it's hard to track down. It's Watch the Stars, Doris Henderson featuring John Renbourn. The re-release was in 2017 on Stamford Audio, and you might even want to track down the original 1967 release if you're that way inclined. But this LP blew me away, and that's what I love about this hobby. So that's a great start to the year for me. Some things I've been waiting for a while, some surprises there. I hope you've enjoyed that. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Love to hear your comments. Please press like, and I'll see you soon. Thanks, VC. Bye.